Hello, children, and welcome to today's collective worship. Just as we are about to start, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start by saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. Okay, and hopefully I've heard a really loud, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Okay, so children, I wanted to explain something. Some of you may not have seen me in school last week, and the reason for that is Mrs. Robertson had an accident last Sunday, and I've actually, probably see, I've broken my arm, which means that I can't actually drive for another 5 weeks. So I'm going to be relying on some very kind people to bring me to school and to take me home. So you will see me, but you might not see me as often, but I will obviously try and do collective worship and you'll hear my voice, but you might not see me in person all the time. I hope you're all well and that you had a good week last week. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're thinking about this week. So in our jigsaw theme, you know that we are thinking about being me in my world. This week, we're thinking about how we care for other people's feelings and how we care about each other. I want you, just before I start the story for today's collective worship, just think, have you been a good friend? Have you been someone who your friends can rely on? Have you been somebody that your friends go to? If they're upset or they haven't got a friend to play with, are you somebody that they go to? Maybe, if not, you could think, how could I be a better friend? How could I make others feel happy? Because it's really important that you show one another that you care about each other. Not everybody has lots of best friends, and we know that, but you can still show that you care about others. And that means using kind hands, making sure you don't hurt somebody, very, very important. And you might like to think of some really lovely games that could include others. So as you're sat there and about to listen to my story, I want you to just have a quiet think. How could I show others that I care about them? And I know all the grown-ups in school will be looking out for that this week. So I wonder who might get noticed for being somebody who really cares about others. So the story I'm going to share with you today is a story from the Bible. And as you can see, there are some characters in it, but it is particularly about two characters called Ruth and Naomi. And this is a story about friendship and how they care for each other. Naomi and her husband lived in a place called Moab. They had 2 sons who were both married. One of the wives was called Orpah and the other was called Ruth. After a number of happy years together, poor Naomi's husband unfortunately died. The sons looked after Naomi, and then, even more sadly, 10 years later, both her sons died as well. Imagine how she felt. But Naomi made an important decision. Naomi decided she would go back to where she came from. She had become such good friends with Orpah and Ruth. She knew they would want to come with her too. She said to them, I'm going back to where I have come from. You must do the same. Go back to your families and may God show you the kindness you have shown me." But Orpah and Ruth said, "But we can't leave you, Naomi. You've had so much sadness in your life. We can't leave you." Naomi insisted. Eventually, Orpah agreed and she went back to her family. However, Ruth refused to go. She said to Naomi, "Wherever you go, I shall go. Wherever you stay, I shall stay. Your friends will be my friends. Your God will be my God." Naomi didn't know what to say. She was overjoyed. The journey was long and hard. It was a good job Ruth had stayed with her friend, because Naomi could never have travelled such a long distance on her own. Ruth liked helping Naomi. She was her true friend. She never complained or expected anything in return. Eventually, they reached Bethlehem, and this is where Naomi was from. After a few days, Ruth knew she needed to work. It was harvest time, and there was lots to do out in the fields. Ruth began working in the fields, following the harvesters who picked barley. She would collect whatever they dropped. One day, the owner of the fields, called Boaz, noticed Ruth. He asked the harvesters who she was. They explained she had come from Moab with her friend Naomi. Boaz was a very kind man who believed in God. He spoke to Ruth and said, "Don't go into the fields. Instead, stay here with the servant girls. And if you are thirsty, help yourself to water in this jar. I will make sure that you are safe." Ruth was so shocked at Boaz's kindness. And she said, "Why are you being so nice to me? You are showing that you care for me. I'm not even from here." Boaz said, "I know that you have looked after Naomi, and you have been a very good friend to her. You left your family and your friends, and you moved here to somewhere that you had never been before, just for your friend. May the Lord reward you for your kindness towards Naomi." Boaz told the harvesters to drop more barley so that Ruth would have more. But they were not to let Ruth know that they were doing this. She took the barley home and shared it all with Naomi. Now, that story helps us to understand that true friendship can exist. People can look after each other. People can care about one another. And the bond between Ruth and Naomi was so strong that she helped her. She helped her through some very difficult times. And that shows us the importance not only of friendship, but how we can look after one another. And that story from the Bible helps us to understand that. Now, there is a happy ending to the story, because actually Ruth and Boaz eventually decided to get married, and they started a family together. So Ruth had showed Naomi some kindness, but actually she ended up being so happy herself. So sometimes in life, when you give something to someone, you always get something back. And that was the story of Ruth and Naomi. Now, I hope you've had some time to think about the story, to think about you as a friend and about how you care for others, not just at school, but at home, when you're out of school, even if you're at an after-school club, or if you're at a club that you do at the weekend. The importance of friendship is with us for life. So I hope you've really listened. Now I'd like you to put your hands together, and you can either read the prayer with me or you can just listen and close your eyes. This is a prayer for friendship. Loving God, bless my life with the gift of friendship. For those who have chosen to be my friends, I am grateful. Let our love, respect, and affection for each other flourish. Make me a good friend, one who is loyal and caring and ready to forgive. To you, who are our truest friend, I pray. Amen. Okay, we're going to finish our collective worship by saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. And hopefully you've all finished by saying, let us rejoice and be glad in it. Okay, children, lovely to, well, I can't see you, but it's lovely to be with you, if only through the camera. And hopefully I will see you all very soon. Thank you for listening, and bye for now. Bye.